This week's US CQM Forecast Alert is PCA, like CQM, has begun to forecast economic recovery. This week's updated economic indicators had a greater impact on PCA's economic growth forecast than the CQM. Therefore, we will specifically look at the impact of daily updated monthly economic indicators on PCA forecasts from December 2nd to 6th. For CQM forecast of economic growth, there were only small changes in economic growth on both the expenditure and income sides. The average economic growth rate of both sides was revised upward by 0.02% to 2.47%. The CQM indicates that the economy has started to expand in November. This week, we ran 4 PCA forecasts from December 2nd to 6th. The PCA economic growth rate has risen to 1.82%, indicating that the economy bottomed out on November 22nd and has been expanding since then. PCA forecast of real GDP uses 8 statistically significant principal components for estimation. The principal components are composed of more than 10 economic indicators, including the S&P 500, real construction spending, interest rate spread, real shipment of manufactured goods, and real net export. The estimation results are quite good. The November S&P 500 was updated on December 2nd. In November, the S&P 500 grew by 2.38%, exceeding ADIMA forecast of 1.42%. As a result, the economic growth rate was revised upward from 1.12% to 1.21%. December 3rd, PCA forecast revised its economic growth rate upward from 1.21% to 1.64%. One of the reasons for this is that real construction spending has now exceeded the previous week's forecast. The second reason is the widening of interest rate spreads. Here, we express the spread as a ratio of long-term and short-term interest rates. On December 4th, PCA forecast revised its economic growth rate upward from 1.64% to 1.83%. This was because real shipment of manufactured goods did not fall as much as ADIMA forecast. On December 6th, the PCA forecast barely revised the economic growth rate from 1.83% to 1.82%. This is because the actual value of real net export in October was almost the same as the ADIMA forecast, as can be seen in the slide. Conclusions from this week's US CQM Forecast Alert. The first, as November began, CQM forecast has started to show clear signs of economic expansion. The second, the PCA forecast also shows a trend of economic expansion since November 22, when the economy bottomed out. However, the PCA's economic growth rate forecast is somewhat lower than that of the CQM. This slide contains additional information about this week's detailed CQM forecast.